When makeup effects artists are called upon to create a mask for facial appliances, or there's a need to reproduce a body part for a motion picture, they usually begin the process by making a life cast of the actor. Movie Effects asked veteran effects artist Kevin Yagher to give viewers a look at the life casting procedure.
A life cast process, it's also called a death mask or a death cast. They've done one of Abraham Lincoln, which is in the Smithsonian. They have his hands and his head. But life cast is, of course, a living character. It's a process of actually molding the actor's face to capture the features exactly instead of sculpting it from scratch. And what we use is a dental material called alginate, which is derived from seaweed. In the head cast process, what we do is we pour the alginate down. We have usually 3 guys on it, 1 guy's on each side of the head, and then usually 1 person just stays and keeps the air passages clear. I've been under where the alginate will actually drip across the nose, and even though you can basically blow out the alginate or whatever, you do panic a little bit because your air passages may begin to suffocate, and fear of death and all that sets in. So we have somebody just kind of stationed at the nose and mouth, and once it sets, we start laying a two-sided plaster bandage mold. It's the old stuff they used to use for arm casts and when you broke your arm or something. So, and what that does is it becomes rigid and it holds this rubbery alginate in its shape. So when we pull it off, it has a cradle to hold it. It's called a mother mold or mother jacket. And then we open up the mold and we pour plaster in that. Once we take it off the actor, and the whole process to do a whole head takes about 15 minutes. I had some pretty big stars freak out on me, and we've had to do it 2 and 3 times. So what I do is I tell them, if you freak out, we have to start over. And that usually they sit there and they sweat. A couple people have had big stars, I won't mention who, have had to have some of the guys hold their hands and talk to them constantly. And I do a lot of, no matter who it is, I always try to touch them, put my hand on their shoulder. Because for some reason, because you're closing off your ears, your eyes, you can't see a thing, it's completely black, for 10 minutes. You think that you're out in the middle of nowhere. Some people go off and, like Johnny Depp was cool with it. He just, felt like he kind of zenned out and went someplace and came back. Other people, get panicky. And by touching them, now you establish that I'm right next to you. You're not that far away because you do feel like you're sort of distanced. And then every now and then I try to tell them, you okay, you okay, and they give me the thumbs up. And again, when it's done, they come out and we basically cut it out the back and we pull the thing forward and they loosen their expressions and they pull themselves out. It drops right off. It's really pretty easy. On Mission Impossible, on our last project, we made a rubber mold off of Tom Cruise's life cast, and from that we did a process which is called coring, which is taking that mold, separating it into 2 pieces, going in and laying a thin layer of clay that basically is the same thickness as what you're seeing here, the skin. It's about 1/4 inch thick, and we lay that in thinly, and then we put the mold back together, pour stone back into that, and when that sets, dries, we pop it open, clean the clay out, basically remove all the clay, put it all back together minus the clay, and we pour flesh tone silicone into that. And then what that does is that fills the void of where the clay was, and that gives us exactly the thickness that we laid up with this, so we can control how thick the mask is. And what we did in this mask is, again, of Tom, and the inside is pretty messy. Doesn't look so pretty on the inside, do you, Tom? No, you don't. This is what Tom looks like actually inside. So again, this thickness is uniform all over although the entire mask is the same, but just about the same thickness. And what all this garbage here is we take each skin in flesh and we paint all the detail, and we go in and the pores and the moles that he has or whatever, we paint all that stuff in several layers, reds, blues, laying in veins, if he's got temple veins, we lay those in, highlight and shadow basically, and bring back in the features, because otherwise it just looks like a plastic doll. So we have to lay in lip color, all those kind of things, give him a little blush on the cheeks, lay in a beard color and beard stubble. And then once that process is complete, we begin the hair punching process, and that's all done with a needle, basically a sewing needle with the eye of the needle, which is like this. We clip off and make it a fork. We just clip the ends of it off, and then we take a hair and make a loop out of it, and we grab each hair and punch it in one by one. Very painstaking process, and we do that, and feather off the hairline, and then we do the eyebrows the same way, and even the lashes have been punched. And once that's all complete, then you get this, this look of Tom Cruise.